Hello, everyone. Welcome to Online Seller UK podcast. My name is Prabhat, and I'm founder at Online Seller UK. We've been doing this podcast now over a year, so we've had now 13 and 40 podcasts talking about different marketplace, Amazon, and different tools and so on to help marketplace sellers. Today, I have Dan, CEO of Listabl, and we'll be talking about what Listabl can do for marketplace sellers. Welcome to our podcast, Dan.
Thanks, Prabhat. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for your time today. So, Dan, I think it's good for you to start with your introduction and what Listabl can do for us.
Well, Listabl was founded on a fairly basic principle, which is that there are something like 2 billion online shoppers. How many can you reach? That's the question that we ask. And there's what's kind of in the way of reaching those sellers. And it seems to me that marketplaces is the quickest and easiest way to extend your reach if that's what you're wanting to do. And I've been working in marketplaces for 15 years, so it seemed a natural thing.
Yeah, of course. I remember, I think it was nearly 10 years now.
I think it was.
We met in Cardiff for
Yeah.
one of our meetups. So
yes,
yeah, it's good to talk again on this. So so marketplace you mentioned, right? So yes, of course, yeah, it's good to reach out and quicker to reach out to them. So with the service or the tools with Listabl we have, how does actually it works?
Well, the main tool we're focusing on is data manipulation. So what we're trying to do is plug the gaps between existing tools that are out there. Okay. So if you're trying to list on Amazon, you can format your data, send it straight to Amazon, use their back-end system, Seller Central, to pull your orders and manage it in a very simple way. But if you want to do Amazon in 6 countries, plus eBay in 6 countries, and Allegro and Cdiscount and OnBuy and all the many other marketplaces, you can't do that manually in that way. You need software, and that's where the listing tools come in. But a lot of the most popular listing tools, I'm thinking Linworks, Follow, basically don't provide any data manipulation, and each marketplace requires the data in a slightly different way and has different rules. So it seems there's a gap there to be able to manipulate data very easily, automate it. So that means you can take thousands of SKUs and push them to hundreds of marketplaces by setting up once. And if you can then send that pre-formatted data to Linworks, and then Linworks manages the distribution of that data, effectively you can really bring a lot of efficiency to your processes. And that means that you can reach more buyers much more readily.
Okay. Yeah. I think, yes. So what you've suggested and saying, it should be really useful for obvious reasons. Otherwise, you wouldn't be there. Yeah. I think with different marketplaces, like for example, we've taken example of, so for example, Amazon, eBay, and there is Cdiscount and all that sort of thing. So a seller then, if they give the data in, say, for example, English content in a basic format of Amazon.
Yeah.
So and then so talk us through the nitty-gritty, because we want to be realistic as well, because a lot of people who listen to this podcast want practical information. Yep. So when we feed in that data to Listabl, so what are the next steps, and what we as a seller needs to do, and then what does Listabl do to make sure that data is correctly displayed in all these marketplaces?
So the normal process is that a seller would have the data sitting in a database, usually in the back end of a website. Yeah. And then when you employ something like Linworks to integrate with the marketplaces, you're sending data from your website to Linworks, usually in the form of a feed. That data has to be pre-configured for each marketplace when you load it in to Linworks. Instead, what you would do with Listabl is you would send that data automatically to Listabl. Listabl builds the mapping So it automatically converts your values, creates titles to the specifications of each marketplace,
Right.
creates all the relevant fields, and then sends that automatically on to Linworks.
Right.
So all you're doing, instead of sending it directly to Linworks, you send it to us and we send it straight on. And the Linworks then receives pre-configured, pre-optimized data. So you're saving all of that sort of data manipulation work just by sending it through us. And there are some tools at the top end. I'm thinking Channelizer, which is one of the where I kind of formulated a lot of my data work in years gone by. They have a lot of functionality like this, but most people who use Channelizer don't use it. And Channelizer is a premium platform, so you're paying for the privilege of having that functionality. Linworks has increasingly good reach, increasingly good functionality, but lacks this data manipulation piece, as do many of the other 150 listing tools that are out there.
Yes.
And so we think that we can help sellers by just putting in a relatively inexpensive data mapping tool in between.
Okay, cool. So I think the next question, which may be pretty obvious, is how soon, how long does it take? Everybody's busy at the moment,
Yes.
and then the time is money for a lot of people, who sell on marketplaces. So yeah, how soon can a seller get going?
Well, I mean, it's pretty quick, but it depends on the channels that you're wanting to integrate with. If you want to integrate with Noon, we don't yet have that mapping built. We're a relatively young company. If you're looking at Amazon UK or US or eBay, any of the major marketplaces, that should be pretty quick. We have to build the mappings into the system, right? So we're mapping the data in, and then that's mapping to our data structure, which is then pre-mapped to the destination channels. And those pre-mappings are largely built, but not comprehensive.
Sure. So I think that for some sellers may have hundreds, maybe some sellers have 200. But if we think about then fashion retailer, we're talking thousands of SKUs and multiple thousands, and they change all the time, as in SKUs change all the time. So
yes.
So is the system capable of handling?
That's our ideal, actually. The bigger the inventory, the more useful it becomes. Essentially, like you say, fashion ranges change rapidly. In fact, a lot of inventories change rapidly, but the values don't tend to change. So it's not as often that you might introduce a new range of products that you haven't had before. You're just introducing variations on a theme. So the color values we've probably seen before.
Sure.
And so if we received something that says, this is fire as the color, we can basically say, well, we've seen that before. We know that's orange. So we can convert them. We can map products because usually they'll slot into the same categorization for the website. So we know that, something that sits in one category should go in this particular browse node on Amazon.
Yeah, and recently also, as you may already know, there has been a lot of changes on the fashion category in terms of different fields has been added, and
yes,
I think those are the times when suddenly your listing gets suppressed.
Right.
And if I've got thousands and thousands, I'm not going in the thousands of listing. I'm not going to do overnight, or I should have been prepared before. Now, that sort of situation, I think we may need sometimes. A tool is there, but sometimes we need someone to hold our hand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of the expertise is baked into the platform. If you're unsure what your data should look like, that's baked in. I've been doing it for 15 years. That's what I do. And so we've built that in so that when you map your data or when you send your data to Amazon, you know that it's got the right values. And the same with eBay, and that your title is not going to be more than 80 characters long and it's going to be properly structured. That's the whole point of the software, and it deals with, if eBay make a change or Amazon make a change to their valid values or their structure, we monitor that and we account for that. So you actually don't need to do anything. The platform will push things to the right places.
Okay. Another thing I was going to ask is I prefer personally to talk to someone when I need help with, right? So and a lot of tools provider out there. The tools are there, but sometimes if you need help, it's very, very difficult to get in touch. You may have experience over the years.
Well, I've been on the other side, so
Yeah.
I've been on the side of providing that support, and that's, yes, I'm well aware that you need to understand what's going on, and as you can probably tell, I can kind of talk about this stuff at length, and I quite enjoy talking about this stuff. So, so yeah, I mean, we are focused on partnering. The platform should take care of a lot of things, but a lot of the other stuff that we're doing in the short term is to provide help. Because from the pandemic, I think a lot of sellers have been looking at marketplaces, and it's just a minefield. There's a lot to learn, a lot to know, and we're trying to build tools to help people understand what they need to do and avoid making those kind of mistakes. One of the ones that we've just introduced is an operational assessment. So you answer a whole load of questions. I mean, it's quite lengthy, but you answer a whole load of questions, and at the end it produces a report that says, okay, you'll need to speed up your delivery, or this aspect of your business is probably not optimized. You might have some problems here. And then once you've had that, you can discuss with one of our team if that's what you want. If you want to talk with somebody who knows and can provide a bit more bespoke guidance.
Yeah, I think that would be really handy. And like you said, there is certainly the gap in the market for a service like that. So it's good. So I think I've asked everything I needed to ask, or I thought of asking. Is there anything else you want to add, Dan?
Just get in touch if you're unsure. I mean, businesses are at different stages. Bigger businesses tend to have a bit more knowledge, but still marketplaces is a bit of a niche. If you're just starting out, equally interested in helping, just give us a call or jump on the website and find out more about us.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. It's a pleasure talking to you. I'll put all the details about Listabl in the YouTube video in the description part, and I'll put Dan's contact there as well, so you can get in touch with Dan today. So thank you, Dan, again for your time. And,
thanks, Prabhat.
Yeah, and we'll catch up soon. All the best.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.